Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and we're coming to you with part 2 of attaching our items to the wreath. In part 1 we attached these 2 items. Part 2 we've attached all of these. I have changed them to suit me, and even in the middle of the tutorial I changed a few things. So my suggestion would be to watch the whole tutorial first and then go back and adjust. But if you are putting them in the places that you want, don't worry about it. Yeah. All right. Now, a quick apologies. We did have a neighbour sanding and drilling. I tried to work around him. You do hear the video go silent very often throughout this tutorial. And again, I do apologise, but can't help the neighbours, hey? Anyway, I'm not going to hold you up anymore. I just want you to know that you need some stitch markers, you need your scissors, and you need your sewing needle. And of course, I used a few extra yarns because a lot of them didn't have enough threads attached. All right, not a lot of them, only a few of them. I'm not going to hold you up anymore. I'm going to let you get started attaching your items to your wreath. Part 2. Good luck all. Now we've already got January's project there. The balloons were there because it was yours truly's birthday. And then we did the Valentine's Day project, which was the heart. All right, and then we did all these other projects and we still haven't uploaded them because yours truly has been very busy. But let's talk quickly about the projects. All right, now I have rearranged projects now, and I didn't even realize that I had been rearranging them until after I did my lives recently. So if you really want to know where we're at, I've moved things around to suit me, and there's a reason for all this. Even though I created certain items on certain months. Now if you have already attached yours, don't panic. It doesn't matter if we're a little tiny bit different, that's okay. But I kind of rearranged a few things to suit me, only because yours truly mentioned it on the live and it was wrong. But I do want to actually keep it that way. All right, so we actually created, I believe, this one here on the channel, but we created it for St. Patrick's Day, and we used the green for St. Patrick's Day piece, which was March. So this is January, February, yep, March, and April's was our Easter egg. Gorgeous there. And May was inauguration of the king, or the crowning, if you will, the major crowning of the king. So here's where I made a few changes. All right, now I decided on our live this week, last week, both weeks, to put this guy here as June, because June was pretty cold here in Melbourne, Australia. It was very much into winter. And then I thought, right, July is flat bang in the middle of winter. Thank you very much. Let's pop the beanie there. But around June, which is right here, we also popped this tutorial in honor of the late great Teddy, our Pomeranian who passed in June. We won't go into that, but that goes in June as well. So I'm going to have 2 items in June. Now, if I was smart enough, I could just put the bone in June and this guy can go in August, but I don't want that in August. All right, so that's June, July, August we're going to make something for. September we created this gorgeous tiny piece here, and I'll tell you why we got a few extras. What I did this year, and a lot of the items that you see on the wreath, the colour combinations were chosen by our subscribers, apart from 2 of them so far, and they were chosen by our subscribers. So the balloons that I first created, the colour combination was chosen by Anne McSee, yes, and the coloured butterfly, this one right here, the colour combination was chosen by the lovely Jeannie, yeah. And I'm having to look at my paperwork, guys. Give me a moment. And the scarf was chosen by Sherry Kathy. And the beanie I chose because I just wanted it to match the scarf. What else was it? The heart was chosen. The colour was chosen by the lovely Luana. The egg, I chose the colours myself. And the flowers, the bone I chose myself because it was my dog and the colours of my dog. And these colours here, I'm sorry, let's bring those the wrong way around. That should be like that. The colours for this one here was chosen by the lovely Luana again. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And these colours here were chosen by the lovely Julie. Now, The reason I do a lot of these extra ones is to practice the item. If I've not made one before, I make one and practice it. Sometimes I just make it and practice it, or I play with it in front of the television, and then I use other people's colours for it. And that's what I did here. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, why has Luana been chosen twice? Well, it's not that she's been chosen twice. Well, it has. But what we do is a thing on our lives every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Melbourne Australia time. We also have lives at 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoons, but we don't do this part on the live. We do it on the Saturday mornings live, where I pop all the colours that I want in the wreath on the table, whether that's 2 colours or 5 or 6, whatever. And I choose the name of whoever's on our live from a hat, from my lucky green hat, and I choose the name from that hat. So what I do is I get everyone who's on the live at the time, pop their names in a hat, pick one out, and that person gets to choose the colour combination of our very next wreath item. And it just so happens to be that Luana's name was lucky enough to be called out twice. So if you wanted to be a part of our wreath project and have your colours popped on our wreath, then please join us at 10 a.m. Saturday mornings, Melbourne Australia time, and you can have your name popped in that lucky hat, and hopefully your name will get chosen to choose the colours of our very next tutorial. Now get this, guys, it's not just for the wreath project. I also do it sometimes for other projects, small ones, big ones, medium ones. I give everyone an opportunity to eventually choose something when they get a chance. All right, I'm not going to talk anymore. We're just going to get started attaching to the wreath. But before we do, we're just going to put them in their order. All right, so we've got January, February. We kind of have them there already anyway. March, April, May, June, July, August is missing. And we're going to put the pink one for September. And these 2 guys, we're going to hold on to these. And if we have room at the end of our wreath project in December, then we can attach these. I hope we do, because I really want to attach this butterfly. I mean, look at the colours of it. Isn't it divine? It really is. All right, so we're going to start attaching. So what I'm going to do is just do this. You don't need to. This is for my benefit to know which one is next. All right, move those out the way. And then I go like that. And then I go like that, and then I go like that, and move that out the way, and then this is the very next one. But before we do, now the way we are focused here, it's going to get a bit blurry, so I'm just going to move them completely. Hopefully that will work. Yep. Let's blow it up a little bit. That might be less blurry. There we go. No, we need it longer. Sorry, guys. What we need to do is we're doing our wreath like the clock. And the clock is, 12 spaces in the round, yeah? That would be number 12, where the line is the attachment of the wreath. Now, don't stress, that's going to be covered with the last project, the December project, yeah? So you've got January, you've got February, but right opposite that area there, and it doesn't have to be perfect, that would be July. If you really want to get pedantic, then you can be perfect. Just pop a stitch marker, all right? So just one little stitch marker right opposite in July, yeah? Which means August would have been there, but we'll go backwards because we haven't done August. So you've kind of got, from February, you've got April, May, June, and July. So you've got plenty of space for everything, yeah? But having a careful look at our March, I meant to say March. March is relatively big. There is April. You can put the Easter egg that way. You can put it that way down. You can put it as any way you like. I like to have the little point sitting upwards. Okay, this is going to be facing us this way. So that's the base of your wreath. That's the top of your wreath. Then you've got May. And then you've got your June. And as you can see, it's a little bit overcrowded. July has to fit right there. All right. So what I wanted to do was actually push June and July together and stick Teddy's bone right there. Still a bit squashy, so we are going to move things up. Now, if you wanted, you could do that. You could bring your egg down there. You can bring your crown there, you can bring your whatever it is you have there, and you can kind of play with positions, right? All right, you could actually pop June's there and put July there. You could move them around, it doesn't matter. It would look nice to have that dangling there, to be honest with you. All right, but I still think it's a little overcrowded, so I'm thinking we will play with positions. All right, now this is entirely up to you. If you want to play with position, you can. If you don't want to play with position, you don't have to. Let's get rid of these tails at the back. Right, once you have your items in position the way you want them, yeah, you need to, whoops, this guy keeps falling down on me, doesn't want to stay. You need to actually place stitch markers to suit. Again, you can place them wherever you want, but this is my January all the way through to July. July's got to be opposite the actual line that you see here. Now, if your line doesn't match, it doesn't matter. Just kind of make it semi-straight, if you will. I hope that makes sense. Don't stress too much if it's a tiny, tiny little bit out. It doesn't matter. So July's already got its little stitch marker in it, right? Now, June, I'm going to pop June a little bit higher up the top. Oh gosh, if I can get the stitch marker in. I don't want to split any yarn. Looks like I am splitting it. And if you want, you can pop your stitch marker in. Oh, also, guys, I mentioned in attaching to the wreath part 1, if you wanted to use safety pins to attach your items, instead of sewing them, you could use the safety pins and remove them whenever you want. You don't necessarily have to sew them to your wreath, but attach them at least. Otherwise, you're not gonna hold, are they? So there you go, and that's 1. Well, let's get the another stitch marker for the bone. I think I might adjust the bone to suit that way. There, again, you can put the bones, you can put your projects any way you want. And let's move the crown. All right, so let's pop the little egg in. And then we have our butterfly. We don't necessarily have to find a stitch marker for that because we're going to attach that now. You want to put one in, you can. Now these are really big butterflies. Maybe we should have made some smaller ones instead. I might pop him under the heart that way and then pop the egg there. It might be a lot easier. All right, so that's about it. Let's grab our cotton and start attaching. So the way you start, I was lucky enough to find a lighter weight colour that was almost the same as the piece we created. So the idea is to start from the base so that you don't go over your mark, but make sure you're not over your top piece either. So I've decided to actually go through the wreath first, maybe a bit higher. And when you go through the wreath, maybe go through, I'm going to get a close-up for you so you know what I'm going into. Go through the actual one stitch and a little bit of the back of the next stitch. I hope that makes sense. So you're going through the wreath, and when you pull it through, I've made a really long tail, which is ridiculous. Leave yourself a bit of a tail for weaving in later. Yeah. Now, if you have your threads attached, lucky you, you can just attach straight from there onto the wreath. All right. So what I'm going to do is pop this guy back here, and my tail, my first stitch there, will go right on the base of the butterfly. Let me get a close up for you. All right, so what I've done is I've gone through the base of that part of the butterfly. So if the butterfly was to sit, he would sit that way. If you don't like the fact that it might open, it shouldn't really, you could actually just go through the butterfly through the top like that, and not get the stitch marker stuck in it. I should put the stitch marker, face it the other way, but anyway. And then you could go through the top of this. If you find you're a bit worried about it, go for the top of that. And then go straight back down into the base of the other one. Sorry about my big fingers there, guys, but I'm just trying to be really thorough for you. And then the stitch marker's driving me nuts. Let's just bring him down a little bit. We'll bring him down this way. Like that. He's driving me nuts, the stitch marker. All right, So then from here, all you're going to do, let's get that out the way, is find the stitch. There we are here, right there. Just find a stitch further down. I went through some part of the wreath then. Part of the foam of the wreath. That's not good. You could do that if you like, but I don't think so. It's not really necessary. All right, I don't think I'll show you too much because I still did it, still lifted it up, because it's just going to take forever. But that's pretty much the gist of it. All right. And then what you're going to do is go further down. Once you've already attached that top bit there, you really don't need to do the top bit anywhere else. Just do the base of your butterfly, like so. Let's get it out the way so it doesn't pick up that stitch marker. I'm getting better at that. Oh, look at that. It's getting the other stitch markers. Look at that. I tell you what, I can't win. But you do need to pop those stitch markers in to remind you not to go too far down. All right, so I'm going to bring this out a little bit more. And what you want to do is to continue, we're in there, yeah? So continue going down. And what I might do is drop a little bit lower at the back because now our little butterfly is pulled in there. So I'm going to drop a little bit lower at the back. That's probably too low. There. I can't win with a stitch marker. Let's close it now. I'm telling you what, I'm doing well with the stitch marker. All right, so that's pretty much what you're going to do now. And what I'm going to do at the base of the butterfly is go there. There. All right, so once it's on, the rest is pretty much easy, yeah? Move your piece around, and it's okay for his little antennae or antennae or whatever you want to call them, antenna, to be sticking up over the heart. It's not going to hurt it. Gives it a cute little look. If you don't want to attach the whole thing down, then you could go through the back this way and go up. I might leave it there. I'm going to go across already. So what I'm going to do is just slip stitch through the base of that side of your butterfly. So you're just slip stitching, I don't know what you want to call it, threading it through the base of the stitch. Don't pull so tight now, because if you pull tight, everything's going to move down, or move up, I should say. And then just go directly into, can you see what I'm doing there? Go directly into some threading of your piece. And I think I just pulled that in. Don't do that. All right, so now you keep turning your wreath around like so. Sorry about all the lighting, guys. When it's a close-up, the lighting goes bad. It's just on this particular camera, which is ready for camera heaven, so I don't know where we're headed for this. Just bear with me on it. Go through your piece, your butterfly, and then go through your piece. All right, so I'm going up now. We're going back up. We've gone down, and now we're going up. So your butterfly is sitting perfect on the base, but we want to make sure that it stays perfectly up the top. So I've gone there. I'm going to go through the base of the thread on the other side of the butterfly, and then come up a little bit here on the wreath. Again, I'm not going to show you the whole butterfly. I just want to get past this part here where the antenna are. Antenna? Is that what we call them? Antennae? Antenna? I don't know what to call them, these little guys things on top of his head. I don't know what you call them. All right, so once we get past it, which is not yet. Not yet, not yet. I don't want to catch the antenna, you see. Right, there we go. I would say we are directly past it. All right, so that's that there. So your job now is to do, see what you did there with that one? To do exactly the same with this one. Go right around, but I would actually go through a thickness down the base somewhere there so you can keep that attached. Go right around and meet me back here. In fact, I'll pop some stitch markers to show you exactly how low you can go, because you want to keep him low enough, that stitch marker there, that's probably at the center of his piece, you know, his little wing there. Right at the center there, I would actually go through the whole piece, yeah? And then when you come back here and you're done, just get to the last little tiny pinky area near the thread, and I'll meet you back here and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, now I've come back around and I've noticed with mine, and it may have happened with yours, where this part is lower because that last bit went into that thread. So what you're going to do for your next piece, I'm actually in there, I'm going straight into the stitch of the base, and this will help straighten everything up, and then straight into the base of your very next. There you go. So it's kind of straightened him up. It may have moved a little bit while we were working. That's all right. Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but at least it's perfect enough to get to the end where we are at the moment. Right there. Now, before we do anything, it's up to you. You can tie it in a knot if you like. It's not really necessary with the base one right there. And you can do it one more time. It's not really necessary because you're going to weave that in. But all you're going to do, once again, is weave it in under your wreath, like we did in part 1. Go under your piece, like that. One way, in fact, I wouldn't even fuss too much because you've tied it in a knot already. Weave it in one way. You could do it a bit more if you like. I'm not going to fuss too much. Actually, I think I didn't even cut that close enough. It's sticking out. Hello, Mary. Come on. That is not going to come out anyway. I think I nearly cut my nail then. Hello, excuse me. And then you get your other piece. You rethread. I hope you can see what I'm doing there. My fingers aren't too big. Sorry about that. Let me, I was going to say let me thread this off air, but we'll see how I go. Yeah, I'll thread it off air. Give me a moment. All right, there we go. Sorry about that noise in the background. You can hear we've got some guys here sanding next door and doing all sorts of weird things, but I'm just going to be real quick with this piece here anyways, and then I'll pause the camera for a bit until they stop. Go in one way. This one here I might go back the other way because it was our beginning thread. Again, it's not this, all this is not necessary. Okay, so let's just pull that through. You can only need to do it once really. And there you go. All right, so in case of the Easter egg, it's best to have the middle end threaded because once that middle is attached, the rest will be easy, yeah? It was different with the butterfly because you didn't really need the whole butterfly attached, you just needed parts of it. But the egg, if you don't attach it, it's going to kind of curl up, all right? So your best bit is to thread your centerpiece and just find a little place where your white stitch marker is. You can take that out now because you're working right next to your white stitch marker. And just make sure you don't go over your next stitch marker and just find a place where you want your egg to sit. So I'm just going to go like that. That's all. I'm not going to fuss too much. This is a centerpiece only. Yeah. And it's just to keep it in place so that it doesn't move while you're doing the sides with this and the other piece. And all your other threads should be weaved in, all right? So just grab a little bit of white in your centerpiece anywhere you like. And that's pretty much it, guys. So just go straight back into your piece in the center there and your center is done. Now, if you wanted to just weave that in through there a little bit, you could. I wouldn't fuss too much with doing this one. I would just keep going, weaving it in twice and then cutting the end. Don't fuss too much with it. You don't need to knot it or anything. It's just to keep that center piece in place. And it's not going to come undone. So the idea is to just thread your next color, which would be your pink or whatever color you want to use next. It doesn't matter. So thread that piece. I may have to do this off air because I always have trouble doing this. Oh no, there you go. That worked. All right, so now just Once again, thread your pink, go through some of your pink on this side, thread the white, go through some of the white on this side, and I'm going to pop this on fast for you because I don't think you need to actually see me do this, but I will let you watch me doing it, and I'll pop it on fast and off we go. Alrighty guys, we're just going to remove that pink right there because we're kind of at the base where we want to go, and then we're going to attach our white, and we're going to bring the white down to the pink and do what we did with the green. Now again, if you just wanted to pop a couple of safety pins and attach your piece, by all means you can do that too, but yours truly, this is going to be my piece for 2023, so I don't want to take this undone. These will stay like this all the time, okay? So off we go, and as you noticed before, you would have seen in the beginning that I pulled the needle through some of the thickness rather than just going through the back of the thread. So we're going to do that here with the white as well. So find a part where you can go through some of the thickness, and what that does is it pops it really in place nice and tight, yeah? And then one more time through that thickness, and then after that you don't need to go through the thickness anymore. You've already gone through it once. All right, now all you need to do is start going down your wreath. All right, I'm going to pop this part on fast for you, and off we go. Alrighty guys, so here we are. I had a lot of trouble trying to do this. We might need to do the next one, half on air and half off air, because it was taking me forever. Once you get to here, you can once again tighten a knot, and my threads were a little bit small, so they kept coming out of my piece. Oh, there you go, like they kept coming out of my needle, just like that. All right, so I don't think I need to show you how to pass these threads under there. You can do that. You did it the same with the butterfly. All right, so now what I want you to do, we can do that off air, yeah? Just grab your very next piece. And what was your next piece? That was the January, February, March, April, and the King's Crown goes right there. Now the King's Crown is really big, but I noticed some of our other pieces aren't so big, so I'm not too worried about it. What I'm going to do off air real quickly is to weave in most of these ends. Alrighty guys, so here we go. I've only got 2 threads down there, 2 threads up the top, 1 in the middle. I've got 1 on the base there, but you can put them anywhere you like, to be fair. I'm going to actually pop this on silent for you, but just make sure you have a middle piece that you can attach to, and a top piece, and then a few of the sides that you can keep it down. If you don't want to attach the whole thing, you don't have to. If you want to keep that up, that could be great too. It's entirely up to you. All right, guys, we're just going to knot this off because this one is really short. Alright, so as you probably would have noticed, I weaved that end in as well. Perfect. So now go to the opposite side of your piece and do exactly the same. I'm going to let you do that off air, and what you're doing is you are weaving your white a little bit here. Don't keep the point down, otherwise your crown is going to hide. So keep the white a little bit there, and the same with that maroon. That's the one you really need to get attached to, yeah? The maroon. And if you want, you can leave this a little higher and attach that a little bit higher if you like. But I would like to weave in these egg ends in as well. And I will meet you back here and we'll have it all sorted out. And we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so I've actually had a change of plans. I haven't finished them. I kind of moved things over because I wanted a scarf opposite the top of my piece. It looks better, and so when you see it in its full entirety photo, you would notice how it does look better. Now, to do the bone, I may have to pop this on quiet again soon, guys, because the guy next door is making so much noise. But in the meantime, this is the bone, and we're going to push the bone a bit further down this way, only because I don't want it to interfere with the crown too much. But there's the top part of the bone that we finished off with. I'm going to pop my needle through, let's get a close up, one of the stitches there, and then just pop it down into the piece, the green part of the wreath, yeah? And that's it. And it's basically just that all the way through. Now you don't have to keep going through it like that. You can probably just slip stitch at the back, which is probably what I will do with most of it. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. But I just wanted to get it in place first. All right, so nice and tight. So, and I'm just going to keep going. I might have to pop this on silent, but this is the last time I'm going through the stitch. I'm just going to go through the back of the stitch now, guys, instead, because I don't really want that to be visible all the time. All right, so we're going to go through. It's really awkward to weave anything in on a wreath on air like this. It really is. So just bear with me, guys. I might end up just going through the piece. It might just be a lot easier with the bone to go through it. I think it is. All right, so just bear with me. I might, if it gets noisy, the guy gets noisy next door. Listen to me. My recording only works with the guy next door. If it gets noisy, then I'll pop it on silent. So now I'm going to actually leave that thread there. See that thread there? Right there. And I'm going to literally just cast off. Okay? Because that thread there, see that one at the back? That's going to start weaving a little bit there, and that's going to come across this way and just hold it in place. All right? So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. All I'm going to do is pop it through one of the stitches at the back, and then weave it in and out of your piece, like so. And actually there's no right or wrong way of doing it. So just, I'm trying to get it back in now. Whoops, no, don't do that. Don't go through the piece. You're weaving it in through the back of the piece. No, that didn't work either. So just being careful that you don't do what I'm doing. You don't do what I'm doing. And I'm doing it so many times because I can't see what I'm doing. That's the thing. The wreath is really, can you see the wreath? Yes, you can. And I think I've weaved this in enough. So I'm going to cut that part now. All right. Rethread your needle. And just start from here. Once again, you are going into any bit of green that you can find that's opposite. Be careful not to make it too low or too high. All right, and then back into the bone. If you wanted to put that down, you could. I'm not going to. It makes the bone look more prominent. I like it like that. Okay, I am going to put some of it down though. Up that way. And now across the front, and it's going to go on silent for you now. Okay, and off we go. And start weaving in through your piece. In the nick of time too, because look at my thread. Don't you love it? Thread is all over the place. One more time, which works perfect because then the thread's going to come off anyway. And it's off. And there you go. Lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. All right, so there you go. And that's the bone done. And I've been all over the place, guys, because of the fella. I'm rushing to get it all done. All right, so don't forget, that is your scarf. So your beanie needs to go right in there. So we're going to have to squash him in there a little bit. You can pop him a little bit up if you like, or you can bring him down. I might bring him down a bit, actually. It won't be too bad to bring it down, and then you can see the bone better. All right, so let's do the beanie real quickly. It's only one piece, and you shouldn't need to do a lot of weaving with the beanie, all right? You should just do a little bit. The whole piece can actually stick out for the beanie. It doesn't matter if it sticks out, all right? But with our beanie, our thread is attached here. It might pay to just put the thread in the middle of your beanie. Oh, let's do that for a minute. In the middle of your beanie so that the thread is centered. And then just attach your piece centered. I'm going to drop my beanie a little bit and move it over a little bit there. Not too much, otherwise you won't be able to see it. And pop it straight in the middle. Again, this is one piece that you don't need to fuss too much with. It's not going to fall off. It looks cute sticking up like that. But still, I'm going to pop this on silent and we're going to go in the round a little bit, but not too much. All right, and off we go. All right, just quickly, guys, I've run out of thread, so I may have to find some more thread and weave in, but you can continue going through the base if you like. Let's just pretend that's on for now. I'm going to go and find some thread. In the meantime, I need to find some more thread anyway to be able to attach this guy. So just give me one moment. Alrighty guys, so thank you very much for waiting. I've just got myself a whole new piece. Now you can start anywhere you like. I found it better to pop the scarf directly opposite the line that you see right there instead of having them the other way, as I said before. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to start by attaching firstly to our piece. Now I'm separating the scarf like this, but I'm going through the whole thickness of the scarf, all right? And then make sure you leave yourself some tail to weave in. And then just go up, like so. And then find a nice part where you want to attach the back of your scarf to. like that. All right. Okay, so now we're kind of there. Yeah, kind of there. Through the back, like so. I hope I'm not too far away there, but through the back of it. Yep. And through the actual scarf itself again. And right under the green and through to the pink again. And straight through to the pink first. Try and get it through to pink first so that you can face your needle down into the green. I'm trying to do it so that it doesn't, well, too much, just a little bit down into the green, just so it doesn't pull too much. It still looks gorgeous, and it can dangle because it makes it look real pretty like that. Well, I think it does anyway. And then you're going to continue it along the way if you want until you get right up to that top area there. Yep. And then go through the top of your piece. Now I'm right up the top where the other end is, where the other tail is now. And if you want, you can actually, in fact, I might even off air attach that a little bit, like attach it from there to say there, and attach that one, bring this tail around and attach that one to there, just to keep it in place so it doesn't move around too much, and to kind of keep it straight. You want it to be as straight as that line as you can. All right, so I'm going to do that off air. I'm just going to weave right down into here, and then I'll leave the tail, no, I won't leave the tail attached. I'll weave down to here and then weave it in and out of there. And the same with this one here. I'll weave it down to here, weave it in and out of there, and then I'll weave that one in. Alrighty guys, we're going to have to call it quits here. Today we've had quite a lot of interruptions, and I still have the spring attachment to put on, but I'm going to wait until we do our August project next week. Alright, so thank you very much for watching us. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and do all the wonderful things that you, well, pretty much already do for me. And I will catch everyone on the very next live at 4 p.m. this Wednesday afternoon, Melbourne Australia Time. Marry that up with your country. I'll see you then. Ciao for now.